Hi, I'm Liz Cully, and welcome back to Cool, Cool, Cool. Each week, I give you a glimpse into what I think is cool and chat with a ton of people that are definitely cool. No topic is off bounds unless I guess it's not cool. Welcome to Cool, Cool, Cool. I will be the first to admit that sometimes I make promises that I can't keep. One of those promises that I made not too long ago was that I was going to abstain from all of the Vanderpump talk. I didn't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't understand why it's everywhere. I mean, listen, I get it. 10 seasons of a reality show. Fans are invested. I get it. I feel like it's a little bit too close to home. All of the restaurants were in my backyard for forever. I know many of the cast members through other people. None of them are my friends. I don't know any of them well. I've never shared a cocktail, a sandwich, nothing. I went to Tom Tom one time and was pretty horrified. It really felt like Vegas Bachelorette vibes to me, similarly to how Sir has become sort of like a place that you take your aunt from, Michigan who's come to visit you, and she's dying to go to a sexy, unique restaurant. I never went to Villa Blanca. If I'm going to go eat in Beverly Hills, it's not going to be at Villa Blanca. And again, I'm sounding pretty shady. I know. It's just like you got to pick and choose. Listen, I like Love After Lockup. I'm not going to the prison to go see these people. Sometimes I don't get it. You know what I mean? So I promised myself that I would not engage with the Scandival. But sometimes things happen, things change. And that is what happened to me just a few days ago when I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw a friend of mine, Remy, who actually I've never even met in person. We thought we had met in person, but she really is an internet friend that happened through the pandemic. An incredible podcaster, really, really funny, really bright, super smart, super pretty. I like her. And I was looking at her Instagram and she laid out a very interesting perspective that had not yet been discussed, or at least I had not seen discussed, about this ridiculous Tom Sandoval, Raquel, Ariana bullshittery. And, I talk about it a lot. I talk about how reality TV is really not all that reality. I mean, it's not real, right? It's kind of a bummer given that we're in these strikes right now with the WGA really trying to get what they should, which is more money and more residuals from the content that they write for particularly streamers, because everybody then starts to just buy reality. That was really the big reality boom, was the last time the WGA went on strike. But there are for sure scripts in reality. So it's tough because you're like, what's real, what's not? And Remy really broke down her thoughts and feelings on it all. I was under the assumption that this show was all about everybody low-key swapping partners. Seriously. I mean, I feel like everybody has dated everybody. Everybody kind of remains friends or then they're enemies, but that kind of works for the show. So here's what Remy had to say about Vanderpump Rules. This might shock you given how Vanderpump, it's not even adjacent. I'm in it.
Yeah.
Never watched an episode in my entire life.
But I feel like that makes sense.
Really?
There's a lot of, I watch a lot of stuff that I'm not involved in. And then a lot of stuff that I am in, I'm that's really not my business.
Yeah, it's just gotten a little off the rails. So I don't know if you followed this part, but my dear friend Jared, who is incredible. He's a cancer survivor. I've known
Is
Jared.
He Allie's friend?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he did Britney's makeup for her wedding. He was actually technically supposed to do my makeup for my wedding, but unfortunately he got cancer. So he couldn't come. But he's become really close with Ariana. And all of a sudden, I went to Mexico because I needed to get the fuck out of here. And if you can believe it, wasn't really on the internet. And I came back and it's like page 6, cancer victim or survivor, Jared Lipscomb, blasts Tom Sandoval for talking about cancer victims of cancer and people on chemo on Howie Mandel. And I was just like,
when was that?
Yeah,
I listened to the whole Howie pod. I don't remember the cancer part.
Apparently he said something about chemotherapy, like made a joke about chemo, which is so gnarly.
Oh, was it the radiation joke?
Yes.
Yeah. So he's told that joke before on Vanderpump Rules. It was when I think Jax and Stassi were breaking up and Jax was like taking all of his shit out of Stassi's house. And he goes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, like radiation or whatever. And because somebody like pulled up a TikTok of him saying the joke twice. And they were like, oh, he just like repeats the same joke over and over again. And I was like, or he's referencing himself. Like his head is so far up his ass that he's referencing himself from like 9 years ago.
See, okay, so and this is where you literally stopped me in my tracks. And I read your whole post,
my theory.
Many slides. Very well worth the read. I'm going to post
all the slides that you can have in a carousel.
Oh, yeah. I thought about that actually. I was like, damn, this is thorough. But it's so, I mean, I can't say like too much, but I have someone in my orbit that used to kind of work with Raquel. And a few months ago, we were having dinner at my house and I was asking about it. I'm like, that's like the one chick on Vanderpump that I really have never met and I don't know anything about. I said, are you guys still working together? And my dear friend was like, I can't work with her anymore. Like, I really just can't be around it. I don't want to be. And I was like, she said, she's like, I can't talk about why, but I just don't want anything to do with this girl. And I'm like, wow, that's that's pretty like strong. You know what I mean? It felt strange and strong.
She's very polar. I mean, I wouldn't even say polarizing. Like it feels like the whole world is against her. And then there's also, but it's confusing because she has been, what we know of her has been this like sweet, like do nothing person. And there was some theory that I saw that somebody was like, what if Raquel like thought that she was genuinely like acting? And like, that's why she's so brazen in some of the things she does, like when Sheena like jokes about, oh, someone's going to have to tell Katie she can't come to the pool. Raquel takes that seriously. Is like, oh, that's marching orders for a scene, and I like,
that's an interesting I mean, your theories of this all are so interesting. So that's why. And I have pretty much, I have to be honest with you, Remy, I have almost refused to talk about Vanderpump Rules. Obviously, for those who listen, who know, I'm a weekly host on the Taylor Strecker Show. Taylor is best friends with Stassi. Jax and Brittany go to my gym, or used to. I have the Jared connection. I famously, infamously had a New Year's Eve kiss with Lisa Vanderpump many years ago.
Ooh, jealous.
I know. She has a great butt. I like
Virgos.
So many, Ken and I had a
lots
real
of
long
crossovers.
moment. Yeah, lots of crossovers. But I was
wait,
like,
what was your moment with Ken?
Oh my God. I was at this. This is like when I first moved to LA. I was so poor. I was so broke. And this woman who was looking to be my manager invited me, which she declined.
What?
Even though she was like courting me. Yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
A bait and switch.
I know, right? So she invited me to this fundraiser at this house in Larchmont. It was stunning. It was like this old Tudor like mansion. And Lisa and Ken were there. And this is after my infamous kiss with Lisa. And she wasn't really talking to me. It was kind of strange. And Ken was there with the little, oh God, now I'm Jiggy dog who was just like on his last legs. And whatever. Yeah. And
love that little guy.
Just a little Muppet, a little Muppet. And it was by the pool and oh yeah, that's right. Because I was also trying to hook up with that one chick. Okay. Yes. It was a time.
It was a vibe.
My mid-20s were really, it was something else. So I was talking to this chef, like this Top Chef alumni chick that I was like trying to fuck and whatever. And then Ken and I, it was just weird. And we found ourselves to the corner of the pool with Jiggy, and everybody kept trying to grab the dog. And as somebody who has a very adorable, cute little dog,
You're
I hate
protective
when people try to fucking touch my dog. I'm like, don't touch my dog. She doesn't like it, whatever. And I didn't try to touch the dog. And so we were inside and he sits back. He's like, these things are terrible, huh? I was like, yeah, these things are pretty terrible. And he's like, you want to hold the dog? I was like, yes, I want to hold the dog. And so we let me hold the dog because I didn't ask. But anyway, so I haven't really talked about Vanderpump.
Right.
Obviously, Taylor Strucker doesn't want to talk about it. No, everybody wants to talk about it, but nobody wants to talk about it. I also would love for all of the white women in the world who are talking about Vanderpump, I would love for them to talk about gun control and women's rights. Just have to say that. Nobody wants to hear me say this anymore. But
everyone, help us.
Help our reproductive
help each other. Yeah.
But when I came across your post, you really, I'm serious. I'm telling you, I was laying there. I'm like, holy shit. This is so fascinating to me because, and I want you to break down your theory because I'm going to not do it justice, but you were the first person, I think, for me to see that isn't like, you know, a Bravo obsessive account, which like love them dearly, but whatever, who's just like, fuck her and fuck him. It truly, to me, as somebody who's never seen the show, that dude is gnarly. Like, I don't know why you'd want to fuck him. I don't understand it. I did meet her once when she was with James, which again, you're right. She like kind of seems doe-eyed, like whatever. But your theory to me seems so incredibly spot on and accurate, and also feels like someone that not only understands the show, but also understands the industry very well. Yeah. Which I appreciate. Yeah. So if you don't mind,
of course,
will you please explain your my
masterful theory,
it's which so I have.
Remy. It's so kind of you to say that I'm not a Bravo obsessive account because since Scandival broke in March, it's like one of the only things I've been posting about. But no, I'm not like a Bravo branded thing, but I do tend to hyperfixate on things, especially things where like anthropology is involved. And like that, besides like the fact that like there's so many colors and like everything's like fun and like you get to see into people's lives, like that's what reality TV is good for, especially Bravo. Yep. Seeing how different groups of people interact in different parts of the countries, how they react to conflict, how they uphold their friendships, all this stuff. So I've been watching Vanderpump since day one, and I've interviewed Ariana and I've hung out with her, and she's really fucking cool. And for that reason, I didn't want to talk about it either for a very long time because I was like, this is so fucked up. Like capitalizing off of something so horrible.
Which I feel like, can I just interject really quickly? I don't know Lala. I saw her one time at the park. I know we have friends in common. I'm sure I'm going to get in trouble for saying this. I'm finding her
a little much.
This is a lot. I'm like, babe,
I think she's just so vindicated right now because she's hated Raquel for the whole time.
Okay,
and
fine,
like,
fair enough.
See, her and I are both Virgos. And so there's like a feeling and other people get this too, but like when you enter into a group of people and everybody loves this one person and you're always like,
yeah,
like something's wrong, you know? And then like finally everyone finds out, you're like, it's like better than an orgasm for me. So I think that's the wave that Lala is riding, is she's just like coming all over Raquel right now. But so my theory, because the second that I found out about like Tom and Raquel hooking up, I initially wasn't going to make that big of a deal about it. But then I saw everybody else getting really, really riled up. And like, I was like, oh yeah, this is really upsetting. But why is it so upsetting? And why did it make it to news outlets like this time? And like, the reason I think that is we, the audience, have seen this happen before 10 years ago, Tom literally did this exact same thing not exact same thing because Ariana and Kristen weren't friends, but Tom laid the groundwork for a relationship before he was done with his old one. And 10 years ago when he did that, we all took his side and we were like, there's no way like Kristen is telling the truth. Like she's the crazy one, whatever. Like we were all living in like a very like internalized misogynistic time. And then since then we've developed more language about narcissism and gaslighting. We've had the Me Too movement and women have just been like kind of waking up a little more and been like, oh, maybe we were wrong. So this time when he tried to do it again, we were like, nah. We've seen this. And this time we're more educated, so you won't be able to pull over the wolves on our eyes. My theory is that Tom doesn't realize the changes that we've made in the past 10 years. And Tom set his sights on Raquel more than 3 seasons ago, maybe 3 seasons ago. Like the TLDR of my theory is that Tom has been planning this for 3 seasons and mapping it out the same way that he did to Kristen and then got her off the show. Well, he didn't get her off the show, but the fact that she left the show, I think he was like, oh, I've done this before. I'm tired in my relationship. There is a new girl on the show that like I find very attractive. I think it would be really good if I break up with Ariana at some point and then come back with this new girl. But there's a few steps that need to happen first, because at this point, Ariana's reputation is through the roof. Like everybody loves her. And she's also the reason why everyone has started to like Tom more. Like she's really part of his redemption arc because he was just kind of like a slime before.
He is so gnarly though.
Yeah.
I find Ariana very hot. My previous
hottest
podcast,
person in the world.
My previous podcast, we tried to get her on it to talk about being bisexual. She declined. I think probably because of Tom, which you'll develop your theory.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't come on. Obviously, Darren knows her. I was like, we were so bummed. Yeah. But she's like very hot.
Yes.
And seems chill. So anyway.
And the fact that she doesn't even realize it as much as she should is heartbreaking. And for people who watched, the fact that Raquel was like talking about Ariana's body issues and being like, maybe that's the reason why her and Tom aren't doing well. Like that is a diabolical thing to say.
Jesus.
So I think, yes, Tom set his sights on Raquel. And Raquel, as we know, joined the show as James's girlfriend. I don't think she ever liked him that much. I think she was a big fangirl of the show. Everyone has said that. Like, I think even she has said that she was a fan of the show first. And so the entire time she was dating James, I was like, okay, this girl just either doesn't know her worth or she's here to get camera time.
Right.
And I think Tom saw that too. And he was like, we're kind of the same mind. Like, I'm still in my relationship because it looks good. Like, there's so many times that he's called his relationship a brand. Or like in this recent episode, he got mad at Ariana because they didn't take a picture together at Sheena's wedding. And he's like, and that doesn't show closeness. And she's like, to whom? You know, like to everyone else? Like, is our relationship about other people? Like, no, it's about quality time with me. Ariana also doesn't do just anything for the show. She's not willing to like throw her relationship under the bus. Like she takes her life seriously.
Right.
Whereas Raquel, like I said, I think might be seeing this as like an acting job a little bit. So I think that Tom and Raquel have had a lot of flirtations. They party together. The whole group of them party together all the time. And maybe they had a kiss once or whatever. And he was like, Raquel, like, you should break up with James and like then like we could be together. And she'd be like, wait, but then like won't everyone hate me because they like love Ariana? And he's like, they liked Kristen like before I broke up with her and got with Ariana. Like, I've done this before. Everybody on this show has had breakups and has cheated. Everyone always gets over it. Like, I think it would be good. And they like set the wheels in motion. And I think part of that too is like, it was always kind of unexplained why Tom Sandoval paid so much for James's proposal to Raquel. And Sheena was saying it on her podcast that she's like, oh, he wanted to increase production value. And then that got my brain. And I was like, why? And I was like, to bolster Raquel's position in the group. Because right now she was still just girlfriend. If she becomes fiance, she gets so much more camera time. If it's a big proposal, that's like even more, like it'll be a buildup for her. And he knows that. And I think he also knows that she genuinely didn't want to go through with it, but that she would go through all the events and not give a fuck that like it's not real.
Well, yeah, because as you said, she's like acting.
Yeah. And if you rewatch the reunion where Raquel and James announce their breakup, Tom is the only one who doesn't look surprised, but is trying to act like he looks surprised. Like Ariana is like gobsmacked. And Tom's just kind of like, his eyes are like darting around. And then there's other compilations that other people have put together of like just him looking at her all the time and him always being like, Raquel, like when she was having issues making speeches, he'd be like, okay, Raquel. Like, I think he's been fixated on her for a long time. I think she's very malleable. And there is something about her that makes me feel bad going in on her so much, because I'm like, she's clearly just not there. Like she doesn't have, how could she have any close relationships if she treats people like this? And if she genuinely doesn't understand.
And I will interject and say, from the people that I know that worked with her, I don't know how kind she is or was to like stylists, hair and makeup teams, like
that shows that you're a trash bag, because
exactly
like
PAs, like I think
I'm not saying to Raquel specifically, I'm saying to any person, if you are mean to anyone doing a job for you, like fucking get over yourself. It's like the biggest ick for me when I was dating, and if somebody was like rude to a waiter, like I ended a friendship because somebody was rude to a waiter.
Oh, well, first of all, as you should. Anyone that's rude to any. Yeah, I went out with a woman once, and she was so rude to this man who was delivering something to the house. And I just couldn't wrap that was like indication number one that she was a trash bag, as you said. But yeah, I think that Raquel, and you're right, it's so interesting because you know what I keep thinking about with these people, and even with some of my other friends that are on reality. Yeah. What do you do for work after? Like, it is a long life. Yeah. Like Raquel is what, 30 years old or something like that?
Not yet.
She's not even 30?
No. She made a big deal of, I'm still the only one in our 20s.
But what happens like in your life? Because listen,
I don't know. I used to think about that with like athletes and like,
athletes are rich though. Reality TV, you're not like that rich.
The fact that these people can buy $2.5 million homes with like just being themselves is crazy to me.
Yeah, it is. It's really crazy.
But
it's wild.
I don't know where people go. More shows. Lala wants to go to Housewives.
I don't know if she would like make it in Housewives.
I think she would.
You think so?
Yeah, you know, funny? I didn't think she would make it on Vanderpump because I was like, who is this girl? And now she's like, she is part of it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I interviewed Kat Sadler, who I think would also be great on how she's too chill and like doesn't really drink very much anymore. Like, I don't think
I don't drink.
What'd you say?
Oh, would be good on the show?
Yeah, she doesn't like, she was just like, yeah, I was talking to Andy about it for a while, but like, I think in the end, like, I just wouldn't make for good TV. But I think Lala, and Lala doesn't drink anymore.
Lala's sober, yeah.
I know, but she knows how to do it. Yeah, she'd be good on it. I
think she'd be, yeah. But Raquel's whole thing, too, was that it's funny that you say she's not kind because her thing was never kind. It was nice. It's easy to be nice. Nice is very surface. Kind is empathy and like feeling and stuff. And like this whole season, we really haven't seen any kind. And that kind of makes me wonder, like, how did her and Ariana get so close? Like how Katie said it really well, where she's like, take you and your 6 personalities out of here. Like, I think Raquel has like a tailored personality for like anyone she's with, which I kind of understand because I like become kind of the people that I'm with.
Yeah.
But yeah. Never in this like malicious, like who is she?
Do you also think, I mean, I'd kind of heard rumors swirling just in LA that Vanderpump was really struggling and could potentially have been canceled because they just didn't, like, none of these people even work at the fucking restaurant anymore. The restaurant just closed. Pump's donezo.
Pump is donezo. So sad. I looked at flights the day I found out, and then I was just like, I can't do that.
Oh my God. I'll meet you there. The food is so gnarly though, but whatever. I mean, all those restaurants are like,
It's like Disneyland for adults.
It is totally Disneyland for adults. But do you think that also perhaps the producers pushed this relationship as well and that they knew too?
Maybe. But like, that is very crash and burn your whole world for a show. And again, if they did, then these people who agreed to it are still like wild. Like he's still doing that to Ariana. She's still doing that to Ariana. Even if it is for the show, like, I don't think she was in on it.
No, I don't think Ariana. I mean, I've never seen it, but it doesn't feel like she was. So do you think Tom thought it was going to blow up this big? Because
no, I think he was going to use this season as planting seeds that Ariana is a depressed, sexless person who doesn't buy batteries, toilet paper, or pens. And so for that reason should get dumped. But he didn't anticipate that she would have so much tragedy in this season, that like she's been dealing with the death of her dog, the death of her grandmother. And he is just still trying to insert these lines of like, oh, we shouldn't be together. Oh, like, you don't even like me or whatever. And she's like, I'm depressed, like, but I will try really hard. Like, and he said in the Howie Mandel interview, he's like, yeah, I like took her to therapy because like I wanted to like break up with her there to soften the blow. But then she just like started getting like amazing and like taking all the notes I was saying in therapy. And I was like, so doing all the shit that you do therapy for, like you're getting mad at her for making an effort. Like, why couldn't you just break up?
I just can't. You know what? Maybe I'm so surface. I just can't understand why a hot girl like that would want to fuck a dude that looks like that and sounds like that. And I just watched this video of him singing. Remy, I couldn't handle it. I'm like, what is the singing thing?
I'm going to say something triggering, but the singing is awful. However, the way the light hits his abs in some of those videos, I'm like, I get it.
What?
I know. It's really bad.
And
I have friends that have met him in person that are like, he's very like intoxicatingly hot in person. And she's always been very attracted to him. And like,
God, I hope she is having the best sex of her life with somebody else right now.
Same.
So you didn't think it was, so you think that Tom was planning this for a couple years now. Mm-hmm. What do you think? So you think his outcome was?
I think he planned to break up with her this season at the reunion. So that you wouldn't have to see any of the fallout, maybe, but he wanted you to see the leading up to their relationship falling apart. And then they would have taken a break from the reunion. He would have started officially dating Raquel, and then they would have been together in the next season.
What do you think's going to happen now?
I don't know. Like they're renewed for another season now.
Oh, 100%.
Which you were saying that the show like potentially was on the rocks. A lot of people are saying that speech Lisa gave on this week's episode that was like, I've seen you all grow from all of the struggles that the boys have had to Ariana and whatever. People are saying that sounds like sounds like a end of show, not just end of series or end of season speech, an end of show speech. Like, and it kind of does because where would the drama have gone? I mean, I guess we don't see the sandwich shop open up and all that stuff, but it very well
sandwich
could have been
shop.
the end.
What are you talking about? A sandwich shop?
Lisa God, Liz. No, Katie and Ariana are opening a sandwich shop called Something About Her.
What? Something About Her? What has that have to do with sandwiches? I will say, Los Angeles sandwiches, there's like 3 places to get a sandwich.
See? So, and the sandwiches did look good.
Potato chips, if anyone's wondering, potato chips. I used to live literally on that street and had to make myself not get those sandwiches. Ooh. All about the bread. Very controversial, what I'm about to say. I prefer to Bay Cities. It's from these guys who used to work at Bay Cities and they spun off. And then the other place is really Bay Cities. And those are the only 3 places to get sandwiches.
That you can get a sandwich. Yeah.
Oh, Uncle Polly's not my vibe. And that's also going to get me into a lot of hot water because I know Paul, like, it's fine. It's it's okay.
Different taste makes the world go round.
But that's 4 places in all of Los Angeles.
They needed more sandwich shops. And I think nothing inspires people more than like 2 women who have exes that are best friends that are also like suffering in business. Like that's going to light a fire under their asses.
But why would it be called something? What a dumb name for a sandwich shop.
Somebody said that it should have been called the Better Half.
See? Where's that person? That's genius.
But I initially didn't like the name of Schwartz and Sandy's, and now I'm like, it's kind of perfect.
What's the other bar? It's Schwartz and Sandy's, and then there's another one, right?
Tom Tom.
Oh, it's just those. Yeah, I was with Jeff Lewis on Saturday, and it was very bravoed out. It was like MJ, Jeff Lewis. We were there for John Hill's comedy show, and I guess they went to Schwartz and Sandy's, but I think they like mixed the name, and they're like, "Do you want to come?" And I was like,
to Sand and Schwartzy's.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna like not do that with you, but have fun. But okay, so all right now. I saw a teaser where the question was posed, I believe from Lala to Tom, do you love Raquel? And it like pauses. Do you think it doesn't seem like they're together really anymore.
I don't think he likes the fact that she hasn't been able to take the heat. I don't know.
Like you think that he's just kind of like, fuck, you couldn't stay in the game.
Yeah. Or maybe like because everything went wrong, he's like, well, now we're never going to be looked at as the way that I wanted to be looked at. So I don't even need to. But he's still, I don't know. I'm interested to see what happens with their relationship because the entire cast has said, well, they might as well try to make it work because they've blown up their whole lives otherwise.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm like, how fake was this?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the homophobia?
Obviously.
Okay. So this is part of my theory, which is that I don't think...
Oh, yeah. I love this part. Sorry. Yes.
I don't think Tom knows how to express the fact that it hurt his feelings that Ariana and Lala hooked up in the back of the car, even though he said it was okay, even though the next day he was like so happy to tell all the boys, ooh, like my girlfriend's bisexual, like outing her, by the way, before she was ready for that. They went down on each other like da-da-da, like he. And then Ariana was like, hey, can you not like just like blast my sexuality everywhere before like I'm cool with it? And he was like, okay. And then it hit the public. And I think a lot of people were saying like, oh, Tom got cucked. You know, like this is embarrassing. Like he should be embarrassed and whatever. And then I think he took that very sensitively, but didn't know how to tell her without sounding homophobic. Because he sounded like very ignorant many times. Like he's like always getting mad that he can't yell at women because he's a quote unquote cis male.
Oh, that I saw. Somebody did send that to me and I was like, this guy, yikes.
So I think that like, he was like, oh, that actually didn't look good for me. And actually like, I wouldn't want to be with her, but I don't want to break up with her because I don't want to appear homophobic. So yeah, I think he just thinks about his outward appearance more than like what's actually going on.
I mean, it would appear that way.
Yeah.
Also, that's the couple I'd like to have is Lala and Ariana.
Wouldn't you? I would love it.
Oh, and they should go on The Housewives as a couple. Oh my God, raising little ocean. Honestly.
Though Ariana doesn't want children.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Actually, that's...
Or we don't know because she's frozen her eggs. And thank God Tom did not fertilize them.
Thank God.
Well,
interesting. She doesn't want kids, but she froze her eggs.
She wants options. Yeah.
She wants options. Fair enough. Well, because...
I'm kind of on that track now.
You are?
I'm thinking
you should freeze them. I don't know how old you are.
Thinking about freezing an egg or two.
You should. Because let me tell you, I'm 37 right now and I'm turning 38. And I'm like, oh, shit. I did a hormone check or whatever, and it says like my egg count is probably low, but I'm also like, okay, whatever. But now it's like do or motherfucking die time. And you're engaged?
No.
Oh.
I just have a long-term boyfriend.
Yeah, long-term boy. Right. I thought I knew you were in a long-term relationship, but at least you've got endless supply of sperm should you want it.
Totally.
You should freeze your eggs.
He is
if you
a
can afford
factory.
it.
Yeah.
Do it.
That's the thing. But my mom was like, I'll help you freeze an egg. I was like, okay.
Sick. Take your mom up on that. I tried with my mom, but my mom actually is a real narcissist, not like everybody just calls everybody a narcissist now without actually understanding what that is. So when I said to my mom years ago, is there any way, like, does anyone want to help me pay for this? She's like, well, I had you at 40.
Yeah.
Well, okay, right. But I'm not talking about you. I had you at 40 and I had your brother at 39. No problems. I'm like, right, we're not the same person. I understand
she
that
thinks
you think
you're insulting her genes. She's like, my genes could do it. Why couldn't your genes do it?
just like,
you're an extension of me.
I know. I'm like, okay, great. Yeah, you should freeze an egg. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Do you think that it'll still be called Vanderpump? Yeah, I guess it is. It doesn't matter if the restaurant's there or not.
Well, Pump also wasn't the first restaurant. Pump was like the third. Her first restaurant was Villa Blanca.
Right, which is that even around?
No, Villa Blanca's long gone.
Interesting. And now she's got the Vegas one. That's what she should do. They should just have a Vegas restaurant. That's like
they do.
I know, but I'm just saying that's
yeah,
because Pump is Dunzo too, right?
What? Pump in Vegas?
No, Pump in West Hollywood.
Pump in West Hollywood is closing.
And then Sir is closing.
No,
just Pump?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Pump was bad.
But the thing is, so when Lisa was on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Villa Blanca was like the thing. Then she opens up Sir and Vanderpump Rules starts. And the thing that Lisa says about Sir, the first thing she says is Villa Blanca is where you take your wife and Sir is where you take your mistress. And it is just so eye-opening to me because that is the theme of the show. It's not women cheating on men. It's men cheating on women. Like the women do cheat too, like I guess Kristen, but not as much as the guys. Like this has been always a show about boys being boys and covering for each other. And again, like back what I said at the beginning, we didn't have the vocabulary or we just didn't care because we had so much internalized misogyny that we were like, yes, boys, go out, do whatever you want. These witches of WeHo are like really shrill, you know? And now like we just know so much more. And it's this scandal, it's so big and people on the outside are like, who cares? Like it's literally, it wasn't the show built on cheating? And it's like, yes, exactly. It was. And then we thought we grew and now we're back here at the beginning.
And it sounds like to a very comfortable and happy place.
I mean, I haven't gotten as much serotonin ever since the scandal broke. There's always something new.
Yeah.
Every morning.
It just seems like it's never ending. That's why when I read your theory, I was like, oh yeah, this totally makes sense. This dude groomed this chick to do like totally what he needed her to do. The show had already been, it's always
I didn't use the word groom, but yes.
Oh, I used that. Okay. Liz Cully. I did. Yeah. Or manipulated her into his fucking scheme. But, you know.
Yeah, he had a scheme. And if I didn't explain it well enough, it's still there on my Instagram, hard post.
Oh, I'll be posting it.
That important. Okay.
You should pin that puppy.
Yeah.
Pin it right up to the top.
I'm really
right next to Diet Search tomorrow. Yeah, it's a good one. Do you feel as passionate about any other Bravo shows as you do to Vanderpump?
I felt very passionately when Erica Jane was doing her lying or what I thought was lying post Tom divorce.
Yeah.
I thought it was really nuts when Vicky's Brooks was lying about having cancer and she seemed like she was involved in that scheme. Like anytime there's a scheme on a reality show, I really like to think into it because I'm like, how did these people think they were going to get away with it?
Jen Shaw.
The audacity of signing up for a show when you know you're defrauding people and still going through with filming, thinking that you're going to come out looking okay. Like, it's a level of audacity I don't personally think I will ever understand.
Well, actually, speaking of narcissism, I think it is because my wife had never watched really like any Bravo until Salt Lake. Salt Lake is the first 2 seasons of Salt Lake, and really the first one is so good. I don't know. Did you watch it or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mary Crosby, like it was just
wild.
It was wild. It was great.
Never
like,
in my days did I think that someone would be married to their step-grandfather.
And the money. And listen, when Heather Gay and I first started to become friends, I said, and we put it on the show as well, just because the answer was not what I had expected. I said, like, whose closet would you want to raid? And she's like, dude, Mary Cosby's closet and the one-off, like, rare Chanel, like, just the site. I mean, that woman, it just out of control. The embezzling of the church, allegedly, all of it's just so intense and so good. But I asked my wife, I'm like, why the fuck would you go on reality TV? Teresa, like, these people go to jail.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing very clear, fucked up financial fraud, tax fraud, embezzling, like whatever, wire, like what? That's very obvious when you're displaying how much wealth you have. And it is a competition. Those housewives now has become like who's richer than rich. Why would you do that? My wife, who is a therapist, is like, this is because they do not believe. They believe they are so smart and so cunning that they won't get caught.
Right.
And so, they want to, you know what I mean? It's like.
That's what somebody said about Tom Sandoval. They were like, and they wrote under my theory, they were like, he's not smart enough to get away with this. And I'm like, no, but he thinks he is.
Yes, I did see that.
That's why he did it. He thinks he is. Jen thinks she is. Also, both of them have taken loans from their mothers for things that they know either are fraud or they are not working hard enough on. Tom literally doesn't work on Schwartz and Sandy's. Even Schwartz called him out. Like, no backbone Schwartz was like, we could have opened, but you've been getting your nails done and like going to band practice. Like, how can you take money from your family and still not put in the work, but also still have cameras following you, not doing the work and not caring?
Yeah, it's wild. It's an interesting thing. I mean, listen, I think Ariana's going on Dancing with the Stars, right?
Fuck yeah. I can't wait. I wish Len Goodman hadn't died. I would have loved to see him judge her.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that this next season is like just Witches of WeHo and their sandwich girl. What is it like? There's
something
girls
about
that you
her.
know. Something about her.
There's
the worst
girls
sandwich.
that you know.
The girls that you know. I actually think that's a better name than Something About Her, quite frankly.
Something About Her looks good in its font, though.
You know what it feels like? Something About Her feels like one of those like MLM vibrate like sex toy like things.
Little
you know
sex
what I mean?
toy
like,
SpawnCon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's like so weird anyway. Or like an intimate like, vagina spray.
Yes.
Like Something About Her. You're like, what the fuck? Anyway, that's rather here nor there. I really hope it just goes like sapphic. I would love
it.
Ariana to get a girlfriend potentially.
Yeah.
If that's something that she's interested in, or Lala or whatever. I hope these brujas really go hard in the paint.
I do too. I feel like they need to break the sapphic ceiling because we're all bisexual at this point, right? Like a bunch of us, but none of us have dated. I'm saying on the show, we haven't seen a girl on girl relationship because I think the patriarchy does still hold strong and compet is real. And
fair.
That's why these people do need to date the men to get on the show. Like, it's very rare. I think James is the only one who dated a woman to get on the show. Feminist icon dating Kristen. Social climbing.
James also,
way.
I've just seen very strange clips again of James came actually with Raquel too. It's like so weird. Also, like Taylor was there. What a fucking the before pre-pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
They came to an event that I was doing, and he just seems a little like robotic to me. But I keep seeing these clips where he would be hard, I think, for me to film with or to have a relation. He's like acting like a baby. I mean, he just seems very antagonistic.
I think he's so funny, but also very antagonistic. But he also, he looks good this season because everybody else looks so bad.
That says a lot.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. And that's why Raquel, too, we were all rooting for her. I say this in my theory. Like, she was doing great because she was on the show. She was in a committed relationship and she was the better of the two of them. Like, even my dad walked in when I was watching last season and he was like, oh, she's going to break up with him. She should. She's too good for him. And I was like, I agree. And then when they did break up, he was like, I knew it.
Thanks, Dad.
Like,
I love it.
Yeah, it was. She was doing well, and it's easy to do well if you're just trying to look better than the other people in proximity.
Would you go on reality TV?
No, I've been in the background of a lot of shows, and I performed on a comedy show on Real Housewives of New York. But I don't think.
Oh no, I know.
Okay.
Which, speaking of, Leah has been texting me nonstop this entire fucking recording.
No way.
And I'm like, Leah, will you just chill out? Oh, actually, yes. Duh. You should. Sorry, I have to respond to her. She was in my favorite show, the other two, and she didn't tell me.
Wait,
and I
has it come out yet?
Mm-hmm,
Her
episode 3, and I just wrote her. I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Like, hello, and she just was like, "Oh my god, should I put it in my grid?" I'm like, "Yeah, do it right now,
it's
you
so
ding ding."
good.
It's my favorite show.
Night that I did stand up was the first night I saw Leah. Like, they hadn't announced the new cast member yet, but since we were performing for them, we got to see them. I was like, "Oh, that'll be her."
I know. And then like Darren told her like bullying story for the millionth time, and Leah was just like, "Wait, is this the girl you're doing your podcast with?" I'm like, "Yes, that's her."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "What's happening? Where are you?" And she's like, "I don't know. I'm at this like comedy show." I'm like, "Fair enough."
"Quote unquote comedy show."
Yeah. So you've been background. I know I was very tired and I didn't attend a couple weeks ago. I've become like close with Sutton Strack.
Nice.
I love Sutton.
Sutton
is
cute.
like she's really cute, but she's also like, we just have a very, again, strange overlap of people in our lives. Especially like with her work with the American Ballet. Like, it's so waspy and so random and whatever. And so she's been very kind and we've been like hanging out. And so she's like, "Okay, Liz, I'm filming a 5-year anniversary," which like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it was not her 5-year anniversary, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And I didn't go, which is, I should have. And she was kind of pissed. She's like, "I told you to come." But I would have had to get full glam.
No,
I've like kind of feel. Oh
unless
no,
you're
Remy,
like a
I'm
main
psycho.
character though. Like,
no, I don't mess around.
No,
I'm like psycho.
We're so
I would have to
blurry
get full
in the
glam.
background.
Oh, fair enough. And then I went to the Kyle by Eileen double taker 2. Yes.
Yeah.
And I was the only one of my friend group who signed the release to be in the show. And you're right, totally blurred. And then I was at the infamous OC Hamburger Mary's drag show, which Jared Lipscomb, it all comes back,
full
was
circle,
hosting. And I witnessed this little kind of Christian woman who was on the show getting really upset about drag, and like Tamara was there. And anyway, you can see like my hand.
Nice.
I really tried to push myself forward into these shows and it's not happening.
Yeah.
Apparently I would be terrible on reality TV.
I have two little background spots in different summer house parties where
that tracks.
All I really got was like people being like, "Did you go to this party?" And I was like, "I did."
Do you watch Summer House or no? Because you like know them all?
No, I still watch Summer House. I did know Kyle and Carl before, but like, it doesn't really take away from it to me. Summer House is an interesting phenomenon because I used to be part of summer houses, or like I'd go to people's summer houses when they would do those shares and stuff. And so I always thought that was like a cool concept for a show. And I just started watching the new one too. I like it.
So you wouldn't do reality?
No. And I was asked to do a show a long time ago that I was like, about to sign. And then I was like, no.
What
Like
show?
it's a British show. It's called Made in Chelsea. It's been running for like years there.
Yes.
Yeah. And they did a season where they came to New York and they needed like New York friends. And I'm from the city. So they reached out to a lot of people I knew from high school, a group of like a few of my friends. And one of them actually signed on and started dating one of the main girls, became like a main cast member or whatever. But yeah, I was like, what production, I can say this now, I don't have a contract, but they wanted me to be the girl to tame the bad boy. And I was like, I watch reality TV. That girl always comes out looking very stupid. I'm not going to do that.
You're like, I'm the bad girl, so that doesn't work. Yeah,
No, but like, I'm not going to try and tame some narcissist and look like some idiot, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I've the only serious reality thing that ever came to me was The Real L Word, and I wasn't out at the time.
Oh my God.
But Rose Garcia, who I adore, who's unfortunately going through cancer right now.
Oh.
She's amazing. I know, it's terrible. Ovarian cancer. She's a fucking G. She's the best. She and Whitney were like, I just moved to LA, and I think people just like didn't get. It was actually really funny. I'll share the story now. So last night I went to this event and I saw some of these. I don't like hang out in the lesbian scene. I never felt comfortable in it.
Mhm.
I didn't get it. I was so broke. I had a million jobs. I was like auditioning. I just like wasn't in it,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And Rose had suggested to Magical Elves that I would be like a good addition because I was like kind of like the bougie girl from San Francisco.
Okay.
And like we had friends in common and they knew my ex-boyfriend really well. So they're like, this will be like a great storyline. But they had real sex on that show. Like
Right.
sex.
Yes.
And I was like, yo, dude, that's some crazy
Yeah.
shit. I'm not having sex on a show. And I wasn't out. And I'll never forget like going back and forth and back and forth. And I called my mom, who I wasn't even out to. And I was like, oh, there's this opportunity to be on this show. And she was like, if you feel uncomfortable with me watching it, then you shouldn't do it. And I was like, oh, okay. Like there's
Yeah.
the end of the end for me there. But that was really the only
Not a great
thing.
rule to live by the way. Like there's a lot of things you should do that you wouldn't want your parents to see.
It's like my whole life. But last
Yeah.
night, it was very funny because I don't really hang out in the scene. I never really felt comfortable with it. I went to this like Netflix Pride thing last night and I ran into this girl who I've known forever here. And she's a party promoter in the lesbian scene. And I was speaking to her friend about who just moved here from New York, who's an actor. And I was like, you know, I just never like, I always feel really uncomfortable at these parties. And I don't know. I just don't I feel like everyone talks shit about me and is judging me. And Anna Goodman, who I will call out on this podcast because
Mhm.
she'll die, but she looks and she's like, Liz, nobody in the scene has any idea who you are.
Humble me.
And I was like, okay,
Mhm.
cool. She was like, no one knows. I was like, okay, well, I guess I should attend your Dyke. It's called Dyke Night Out or whatever, Dyke Dive Bar or whatever the fuck. And I went. And you know what? I went for 5 seconds and I didn't feel comfortable and I left.
Mm-hmm.
It was show tunes. They were playing nothing but show tunes.
See, I would have
For-
loved.
Oh, okay. Well, next time you come to LA, I'll take you. And you can get up on the
Thank
mic
you.
and sing
Yes.
a ditty.
I will. And it'll be better than Tom Sandoval.
I'm sure it will. You're the best.
You're the best.
No, I feel like you're a big famous podcaster.
Stop
Betches,
it.
Your podcast, you're coming all the time. It's great. I'm like so into it.
Oh, thank you.
And there you have it. Listen, I think Remy's right. I think this whole thing was planned. I think this guy, he gives me like major weasel vibes. I don't know him. He could be lovely. I mean, I think that's kind of hard to argue now, but I don't know. You know, you got to give people are multi-dimensional. People are layered. There are plenty of people that don't like me. There are plenty of people who have met me on the wrong day and I've been rude. Fine. Or they're like, Liz is like a bitch or she's not that smart or whatever. Obviously, I'm not a bitch. Obviously, I'm super smart. So they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? So like Tom could be this like very deep and layered guy. I don't know. But I will say, I feel real bad for people that spend 10 seasons on a reality show. I really do, actually. And I know I brought up the question, like, what does this girl do afterward? But I seriously think about it. I think about it as a young person myself. I'm not really young. I should really stop saying that. I mean, young relative to like, what, right? But I'm a middle-aged person. Ooh, I don't think I've ever said that before, but whatever. I'm middle-aged, right? I'm like 37 years old. I'm always worried about my job. I'm always worried about the industry. Vice filing bankruptcy, MTV News collapsing, BuzzFeed going away. That shit makes me nervous. The WGA going on strike, affecting hundreds of thousands of jobs. Seriously, the last time the WGA went on strike, it cost California ancillary jobs, people just not even in the industry, almost $3 billion in lost wages. It's like some serious shit. So I do feel for the people who spend the majority of their money-making years on reality TV. I'm like worried for them, because I'm like, what the fuck are you gonna do next? You know what I mean? And I think that the stakes are so high to stay on these shows. So that's why Remy, her perspective, it just seemed right to me. You know, I think the desperation to get a paycheck, stay on a show, I completely understand it. I'm not saying that it's necessarily right to cheat on people and fuck around and mishmash your real life with reality life. Again, doesn't seem like a lot of fun to me, but I'm like not here to judge it. But I do really wonder, like, I love the like clickbait, you know, like, look what happened to this person. I love it because I think we become invested, and I'm always curious, like, well, do you go back to your hometown? Like, what job are you getting? And what are you doing? You know, that's why the Real World, brilliant. Like, seeing the original cast members on Paramount Plus and all those shows was like amazing, because I loved seeing what happened to people and how their life unfolded. And obviously very different back then because we didn't have social media. But anyway, I don't know. These are my final thoughts on Vanderpump Rules. Ariana is very hot, and I really hope she considers having at least somewhat of a long-term or any term of a relationship with a woman just to see how it goes. 2, I don't understand why people want to have sex with that guy. He does not read sexy to me. I understand. Remy told us otherwise, but I'm not into it. 3, again, it was brought up, like the houses in Valley Village. Like, what the fuck are these people doing? I really hope you guys are squirreling away your money. All the reality people listening, because I'm sure there are so many. Squirrel your money. Squirrel it. Save it. Just put some cash away, you know? And last but not least, that is the stupidest name for a sandwich shop I've ever heard in my entire life. And it almost makes me want to open up my own sandwich spot because, yeah, I found that all very disappointing. You know, again, we need better sandwiches in LA, but something about her? What? Until next time.